Hello again, algebra students. We're going to spend one more day talking about compound inequalities. So we spent one day on just the or kind of graphs, one day with the and kind of graphs. Then we had a day where we combined it all, and then we're going to spend one more day today with the combined ands and ors and making sure that you understand what your graphs should look like and what they could possibly entail. So the directions here shouldn't say write each sentence as an inequality. We should be solving this inequality and then graphing it. So when we do this, remember this is an and kind of a graph. It has the less thans that we are hoping for. That's what we usually want before we start graphing. And just like when we solve an equation, we're going to have those vertical lines to remind us now we've got 3 sections in this problem, and we need to make sure that when we make any kind of a change in any part of it, it happens in all 3 parts. And the middle section is the most important part. I want the x all by itself in the middle, get everything else away. So right now the 2 is attached to the x. We got to leave that alone. I would add 3 to all of the parts. So I'm going to get 0 is less than or equal to 2x is less than or equal to 6. And then we would just have to divide everything by 2. Divide, divide, divide. Well, 0 divided by 2, that's still going to be 0. There's my x. So x is between 0 and 3. So if this is 0, and there's 3, both of them have filled in circles. And again, the x is between these 2 numbers. We're going to be shading between those 2 numbers. If you need to split this into 2 separate parts and say for this part, that's really saying that x is greater than or equal to 0, which means we're going to the right of 0. You can do that. And then for this part, x is less than or equal to 3. That means that from the 3, we're going to be going to the left. That's meeting in the middle then. When we have the word or, we are doing 2 separate problems. You can't take anything from one problem, put it into the other problem. So I kind of try to draw something to divide the 2 problems so you don't try to combine them. In the left side, I want to get the x by itself, remember? So I have to get rid of the 7 first. And you can do a keep, change, change if that helps you. So I'll have a negative 4x is greater than negative 20. And when I divide by negative 4, remember that's the tricky one. Dividing by negative, multiplying by negative flips your inequality sign. So instead of a greater than, it's going to be a less than. And that's positive 5 because they're the same signs. On the right side, we're going to get rid of the 2 first. So 3x is greater than or equal to 24. And divide by 3. Again, typically, these or kind of problems give us the 2 outsides. So if this is 5, and there's 8, at 5, I'm going to have an open circle because it's not equal, and it's a less than, so it should be going to the left. From 8, that equal sign right there means it's a filled in circle, and we're going to the right. This is, again, an and kind of a problem. I want to get the x all by itself in the middle. The 3 is attached to the x, so I'm going to leave that alone. So I'm going to get rid of the 6. I'll add 6 to all 3 parts. So I've got 30 is less than 3x is less than 42. And then we'll divide everything by 3. Divide, divide, divide. So that'll be 10 is less than x is less than 14. Both of these are just less thans, which is what we want. So, but the fact that they're only less thans, not less than or equal to, means that they're going to be open circles. So here's 10 and 14, open circle, open circle. Again, the x is between the 10 and the 14. I'm going to shade between the 10 and the 14. And one last problem as a review. Or problem. two separate problems to solve. So we're going to add 15. 2x is less than 22. And we'll divide. On the right side, when we divide by -3, remember dividing by negative is going to flip my sign. -51 divided by -3, they're the same signs, so that's going to be positive 17. So 11 and 17, I guess, aren't that far away. So here's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 is over here. Both of these just less than in the first one and just greater than in the second one, which means open circle on both of them, and they're each going to the outside. So these are all just the typical kind of graphs, none of the tricky stuff. Today, your worksheet is going to look so much like yesterday's. Please don't get them confused, but it's the same stuff. It's just compound inequalities, ands and ors, and three-part inequalities. Make sure that you check your answers with the answer key. And when you're done, there is a formative quiz in Schoology. Have a good day.